Joining us now to talk about this historic moment in U.S. history is expert on American political culture, Dr. Henry Giroux from McMaster University. Professor, the crowds of people, the media frenzy outside of the courthouse. Can you talk about the magnitude of a former U.S. president appearing in court to face criminal charges?
Well, I think this is an historic event, not only because, of course, it's the first time an American president has basically been indicted, but it's also an historic event in that he's a guy who flagrantly, endlessly violated the law and used the Justice Department and weaponized it to his own interest. And I think that what's important here is that in spite of what he's done and the norm that he established, even though he's a former president, he has to be held accountable. If these institutions don't work, democracy fails, it crumbles. And I think this is historic in the sense that he's being held accountable, and it suggests that nobody is above the law, even Donald Trump.
We know Trump's Secret Service was with him today because he is a former president. But besides this aspect, do you think he will be treated like anyone else facing legal troubles, or do you think exceptions will be made?
Oh, I think there are some exceptions, given the magnitude of the case, given who he is, and given the fact he's being accompanied by the Secret Service. He's probably not going to be handcuffed from what we understand. I'm not sure if there'll be a mugshot. But I think outside of the formal procedures, he'll be treated like anybody else. I mean, it's very important that the law makes it clear that it doesn't provide special privileges for people of power, and especially for a former president who basically disregards the law and has ushered in a regime of lawlessness. So I think that they'll go out of their way to be as impartial as possible and to make sure that it appears that this is a very fair process.
According to a poll released yesterday, Trump appears to be the front runner for the 2024 Republican nomination. What happens next? Will he be able to run?
Well, of course he'll be able to run. There's nothing in the law. He could go to jail and run, as you well know. And if he goes, he won't go to jail. I don't believe he'll go to jail. But he'll run for the nomination, and I think this will be an interesting case. It'll be an interesting election because what's at stake here is the difference between democracy and fascism. This is a very important election. Trump will fight to the end. He's absolutely more concerned about performance than he is about justice. And I doubt that he will in any way consider dropping out of the race. No way. I predicted in 2016 he would win, as you know, on this program, no less. But no, he will not win. I think he's going to lose substantially, actually, in 2024, substantially. It's going to be a substantial loss. I think if Biden runs, I don't think there's any question he'll come on top. I also think the Democrats are going to win both the Senate and the House. I think the Republican Party has degenerated into something so morally and politically repulsive that it's increasingly difficult for even independents and even the more moderates in the Republican Party to really put up with the Marjorie Taylor Greens, and the rest of them who basically have just waged an incessant war against the American public goods, democratic institutions, and democracy itself.
Many Trump supporters believe he is a victim who is always being attacked. Do you think this indictment adds more fuel to this fire?
Look, he's been running that script since 2016. He constantly sees himself as being under attack, being bereaved. I mean, anybody who wages a criticism against him, he turns it into an attack. I don't think it's going to make a difference in many ways. I mean, I think there'll be a spectacle, of course, and it'll be used. But, this is an old script. It's been going on since 2016. I don't think I mean, those followers of his, the hardcore, they're convinced. And nobody's going to change their mind.
Thanks so much for joining us, Professor.
Okay, good. Thank you.